Now, as a part of the program, as a part of Inner Awakening, you will be given 3 books free. One is Guaranteed Solutions, which speaks elaborately about the 7 chakras. The second book is Door to Enlightenment, which elaborately speaks about the 7 layers, the whole process of death. And the third is this book, You Can Heal. All this is for you. First thing you need to do when you get the book is please write your name and ID card number on the book. Let's go to page 28. Basically, we are looking at chapter 2, Introduction to Healing. We're looking at that. Is everybody on that page? Yes? Yes? Say yes. Say no, otherwise. What do you have? That's page 28 for you? Yes. Page 28, chapter 2, Introduction to Healing. What is healing? Pythagoras, Greek scientist and mathematician, said that the most divine art was that of healing. And if the healing art is most divine, it must occupy itself with the soul as well as with the body. For no creature can be sound so long as the higher part in it is sickly. Buddha, an enlightened master, gives a beautiful explanation or definition for the word healing. He says, healing is our way of expressing our compassion, expressing our care towards somebody to help restore his health to him. Healing is nothing but helping a person restore his physical, mental and emotional well-being. At any level, healing can happen. We can help somebody restore his physical well-being and vibrancy. We can help somebody restore his mental well-being. We can help restore somebody his emotional well-being and balance. At whatever level we help, that is healing. According to me, when I'm saying according to me, I'm reading out, it's Swamiji speaking to you, by the way. So wherever it says, I will heal you, it's not, don't ever think that there is somebody other than Swamiji who does it. So always when you look at me, please know this is the Maya. It's only Swamiji who's talking to you. It's only Swamiji who's taking the class. Everything is only Swamiji. If you see anything other than that, be very clear it's an illusion. Okay? So Swamiji is saying, according to me, allowing him to work on us is healing. When I say him, I mean the divine personality, the divine energy. We may call him by various names, but allowing him to work on us is healing. Good health is not just an absence of disease, it is a positive well-beingness. We are not just humans who are meant to fall sick and get cured. We are an abode of bliss. We were created to feel this bliss continuously inside us and to float with blissful lightness at the being level. This is what is called arogya or good health. We are ever ready to spend our time, money and energy curing ourselves of some ailment or discomfort. Or we believe that such problems are an unavoidable part of living. We have become so caught up in the cycle of disease and cure that we see disease as an inevitable disaster that has a cure in the outer world. We do not know the root cause of all disease and imbalance. Actually, every ailment or disease has got its root in the mind. For example, continuous worrying leads to stomach ulcers. Every emotion of ours causes a disturbance in the energy levels in us, in our system, which in turn manifests itself at the physical level as disease. There are so many levels of healing. Healing does not mean healing only our physical illness or healing our pain. Healing means experiencing a feeling of well-being. If we can say a few courteous words to others which makes them feel comfortable and joyful, even that is a healing effect. Alright, so this is basically a small gist. Of course, there are a lot of many things in the book. We'll not be able to go through every page of the book, but because the book is yours, obviously I would encourage you to read through the whole book. It's very informative, very profound, very insightful. But before we get into the actual rules, the know-how of what is it that's required for me to choose what healer I want to become, just wanted to lay a introduction that healing itself is one of the most extraordinary expressions of human consciousness, right? All of us have the innate healing ability inside us. We have the ability to heal our own selves, first thing. And when that becomes more and more, when the power of healing yourself is there in you, vibrating through you, you actually tend to heal others as well. And of course, beyond everything in this initiation, if you're choosing to heal others, as a natural you, that the healing happens to others just by being around you. Okay? So I want us to get that this is not like any other monetary benefit that you may have in life. This is far beyond that. This is a very, very deep state in you that is awakened. And it cannot be, you're kind of making it very look small when you're putting it into the frame of benefit, cost and analysis kind of a thing. What is the cost I have to pay? What is the benefit I have to get? Putting it in a cost-benefit analysis is making the whole thing very small. Because what happens inside you is an explosion of your consciousness itself. Beyond all the monetary benefit or physical benefit or mental benefit, beyond all of that, consciously there's an evolution happening when you are receiving the initiation. Whether you're healing others or not, it happens. And of course, goes without saying, it is more so when you are healing others. Why? When you are healing others, double effect happens. As I'm healing of others, who's receiving the healing first? I am receiving the healing first, isn't it? It's like, consider there's a tube which is, giving water to the plants. Before the plant gets wet, what gets wet? The tube has to get wet because the water is passing through the tube, isn't it? So when energy passes through you, when you are transmitter of the divine energy, be very clear that energy works on you first. And once again, as I was speaking earlier, the Nitya spiritual healing service is complementary to all other services. So whether it's Reiki, whether it is Tao, whether it is pranic healing, Chinese methods of healing, or any other healing system that you're already practicing, you can continue doing that along with Nitya spiritual healing service. You can practice both. It does not contradict any system in particular or any system at all. Clear? You can do this very efficiently with any kind of system. That's the first thing. Second thing, Nitya spiritual healing service does not have any negative effects. Why? Because you are not less. Again you will see me saying this, Swamiji's energy radiates through you. It's literally Swamiji takes over and his energy comes through you and heals the other person. If you're choosing to heal others, even if you're choosing to heal yourself, Swamiji's energy replaces your individual identity there. And that energy heals. So there's no question of side effect or negative effect. In fact, the other way around is true. The more you heal others, the more and more you will feel the joy of being, the joy bubbling inside. How many of you are healers and have this experience? When you heal others, you feel very vibrant and energetic. Look around, you have healers who share that experience. The more number of healers you heal, through Nitya spiritual healing, I'm saying specifically, the more and more you will feel joyful. I know there are certain healing systems which make people tired. They experience tiredness. They have to do certain mudras, some signs, some practices, washing the hands, because according to those systems, it leaves something, that you need to get off. Nitya spiritual healing service is nothing like that. You need not have any practice following the spiritual healing saying, I need to cleanse myself, I need to take a break, nothing. One, more and more people you heal, more and more you feel energy. And more you feel the joy. And two, there is no negative effect at all. It leaves you in more and more vibrative, energetic states. Clear? Any questions so far? Any questions? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. So we'll move to the main part, what you're waiting for, right? What are the types of healing? There are two categories that are there. Please listen. This is a very important conversation. It will help you choose what you want to take on, right? So please close your books. The book is with you for the rest of your life. You can read it little later. And we'll go through main portions of the book. So don't worry. That we'll do in class anyways. But we need to talk about this. Very important. I please request you need to listen to this. So please listen up. Ingo, I hope you're listening as you're lying down. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So there are two categories of healer, of the healing dimension. One is when you choose to be a self-healer. When I say self-healer, there are no policies or rules or regulations to being a self-healer. You can remain as it is, continue with the same lifestyle, and get your Ananda Gandha Chakra activated, awakened by Swamiji, and you will be recommended to practice self-healing, healing yourself at least once every day. Takes a few seconds, few minutes of your time. Do we get this? Then the boundary of your healing will be limited to the skin, the physical skin of you. So any part in your body, any part which ends with the skin, you can heal. All organs, internal organs can be healed. Any organ can be healed if you choose to be a self-healer. However, outside of the skin, you cannot heal anything. You cannot touch anything else with the intention of healing, whether it's a plant, whether it's a mic, whether it's a stone, whether it's a wall. If you're choosing to be a self-healer. There are no rules and regulations for being a self-healer. You just need to say yes and take the initiation from Swamiji. Okay? That's a self-healer. Now the second category is a category which has some rules, which are what I will explain now. If you choose to heal others. Now the difference is very distinct, by the way. Though the Anandagandha chakra is activated, the process is slightly different when you choose to heal others. Swamiji does a different process where the ability for the energy to flow from you to the other is made available for you. Now with that, goes without saying, very, very powerful. That actually awakens the intuitive, extraordinary powers inside you, which I was speaking about. That's one part. But more than that, it is like being in a constant river of bliss, literally. Floating in that. Because the more and more you transmit outside of you, the more and more it starts getting generated inside of you. So that way, it is very, obviously has an upper hand than being a self-healer. That's one thing. Now the rule, the policy that we have for people who want to heal others. Neha, you want to wait 5 minutes if you can? Okay. If she's missing something, you have to cover for her. So the policy that applies for people who want to heal others, please listen up, is 3 things. 1, you cannot, once you choose to get healed to healing others and receive the initiation, from the point when you got initiated to heal others, for the rest of your life, as long as you continue healing others, which according to me, you should take a commitment for a lifetime, you cannot drink alcohol in any form. Number 1, first thing is that. You cannot smoke tobacco, cigarettes, cigars, or any of those in any form. You cannot consume drugs in any form. I don't jump to questions. Let me finish the whole thing. There are some things which I'll include in this. So you cannot take drugs in any form. When I mean drugs, I'm meaning marijuana, heroin, opium, those things, right? The narcotic drugs which you take other than a medical reason. Medical reason is different. We'll talk about that in a while. And you cannot eat non-vegetarian food in any form. So these are the 3-4 things that you need to follow if you have to heal others. So point number 1, no drinks. When I say drinks, I mean all kinds of drinks, whether it is wine, whether it is vodka. Somebody asked me, oh, wine is just grape juice. I said, have grape juice, don't have wine. Because you can't have wine. You know, this is where the fun begins. Lots of cases, lots of exceptions, lots of questions will come. So wine is a strict no. Grape juice is a yes. But you take grape juice in grape juice form. Don't take it in the wine form. Simple. So first thing, no drinks. Includes vodka, includes your so-called other things like country wine, and you may have 100 variations to that. None of that you can take. You cannot take alcohol in any form. Obviously, includes whiskey, brandy, whatever, the most common, whatever brands are there, all of that. You cannot take a concoction of those. You cannot take a cocktail of those. Somebody asked me, once a year in a mass, I have to drink. You cannot. If it's a cannot, it's a cannot. It's like poison, right? Can you say once in a while, can I take a bit of poison? You can't. You won't like that, right? So you cannot take any kind of alcoholic drinks. I'm not speaking about juices. I'm not speaking about, water. I'm not speaking about any kind of drink. I'm speaking about any kind of alcoholic drinks. Includes wine, beer, whiskeys, rum. Of course, goes without saying rum cake, alcohol chocolates, rum chocolates. In any form. I'm not speaking only in the glass form, even in the bar form, solid form, liquid form, semi-solid form, any form you cannot take. Any kind of alcohols. Medicine is an exception. I'll speak about that. If it's in a medicine, it is fine. Cough syrups, which usually contain, that is fine. If you're taking for a medicinal purpose, it is fine. As a medicine, right? That is fine. That's an exception. But for any other cause or purpose, you cannot take. And remember, it's not mandatory, right? If you're choosing to heal another only, this will apply to you. If you think this, you may not be able to follow this, you can happily choose to heal yourself. There is no rule there when you're healing yourself. I'll come to that. That's the first thing. Second, tobacco. As I was saying, you cannot smoke or consume tobacco. There was a participant who would sniff it into the nose. She stood up and asked, you can't do that. Obviously goes without saying. You cannot inject tobacco through an injection. Say, I'm not smoking. It's the same. You cannot consume tobacco in any form. Somebody asked, what if I'm in a smoking zone and somebody else is smoking? So number one, if you know it's a smoking zone, please don't go there and stand and chat with people. Because now you know you're not doing that anymore. By mistake, if it happens, it's just common sense. Don't react as if it's an atomic bomb. Just be sensible and move away from that place. Right? It doesn't mean we'll be paranoid. It just means we'll be aware of it. So you cannot consume tobacco in any form, either as a cigar or as an injection or as a sniffing thing or as a chewing thing, eating thing. No thing we will have. Drugs. No kind of drug. Somebody was speaking. I had a teenager, I think, who was he was an addict for medical marijuana, something called. First time I was hearing something called that. He said, how about medical marijuana? Medical, non-medical, co-medical, no. Marijuana is a strict no. Right? So you cannot take anything. Includes all other drugs which I may not mention. Charas, ganja, marijuana, heroin, opium, other brands. There may be 100 varieties of that variations. You cannot take any of those in any form, either sniffing or intravenous or through an injection or through a liquid. In no form can you consume drugs. Tobacco, drugs, alcohol, no form. Next, non-vegetarian food of any kind, unless it's a medicine, right? And it is a prescribed medicine for your doctor, not as a health supplement. If your doctor is speaking about health supplement, you will have to switch to organic health supplements. Like that fish oil or something is there in a lot of medicines. If it is mandatory for a medical condition you have, that is fine. But if it's like a health supplement you're taking as a vitamin, you may have to stop that and not take it if it has fish. Right? Now, by the way, non-vegetarian includes everything that crawls, flies, that is walking, talking, everything. Because there are communities for which fish is considered vegetarian. No, fish is absolutely non-vegetarian because fish can move. Anything which can move is non-vegetarian, by the way. One category of non-vegetarian is all that moves, any creature. So you can't say in my community we consider this vegetarian, can I have it? No, you cannot have it. So that's fish, chicken, mutton, cow, pig, pork, rat, rabbit, whatever you call. None of that, right? I'll come to that. And of course, definitely no egg. You cannot say egg is vegetarian. Egg is non-vegetarian. I'll tell you the reason also why. Egg is one thing, mushrooms. Mushrooms are a strict no-no. Mushrooms are considered non-vegetarian according to Swamiji, and I'll tell you why also for that. Right? And there are a lot of that sea algae, seaweeds kind of things which are animal in nature, which are considered non-vegetarian. You cannot have those. So anything which comes under the non-veg category, including chocolates, you cannot have. Chocolates, by the way, on the wrap, a lot of chocolates are non-vegetarian chocolates. If you didn't know, you go back now and see the wrappers, they'll have red and green. They'll have a round mark. On the chocolate, there'll be a box inside which there'll be a round. If that round is red, it means it's a non-vegetarian chocolate. If it is green, it means it's a vegetarian chocolate. Do we understand? So, chocolates which have animal fat, don't jump to questions, let me finish. There are a lot of things which I'll be sharing. Chocolates which have animal fat, you cannot have. Chocolates which have rum and all that, you cannot have. Because that's as good as having the actual non-vegetarian content. Non-vegetarian substance. You cannot also have cheeses, soups, drinks which contain non-vegetarian stuff. Somebody once asked me, in chicken soup, can I leave the leg and just drink the soup? You can't, please do that. You cannot say, I'll eat the gravy, I won't eat the piece. Obviously it contains, na? You cannot do that. You cannot do variations. So none of that you can have. There are cheeses which are organic in nature. That is fine. Right? There are a lot of milk products which are animal fat and protein. You cannot have those. If they are organic and you know, it will be mentioned. Usually in all places it is mentioned. If you know, then you can have that. And by the way, everything that you eat in the ashram, you can eat in your life. Because the ashram is full of healers. All of us are healers. We are eating the food you are eating. And do you see how many varieties of food we eat? So usually the mind will say, this is the end of the world for me. Oh God, so many things I can't eat. No. There are so many things you can eat. Vegetarian has so much of variety. I have been a vegetarian all my life. And I can tell you so much is available. It's just the mind which can play the game and say, oh, it's so difficult. It is not. And by the way, the sacrifice is worth it. Because what is available to you when you heal others is something you just cannot imagine. You have to experience that space of healing another and you being healed in turn. A very, very marvelous divine space. You will experience divinity when you're healing others. So this is worth it actually. So whatever you're eating and drinking here, absolutely you can have. So if you have a question, can I have yogurt, can I have milk, you're having all of that here. So all that you can have. Alright. Sugar is recommended to avoid. It is not related to healer's initiation. 3 things I'll tell you. Garlic, onion and green chili and sugar. All these 4 we avoid in the ashram. We don't have. This does not mean you will not be a healer. You can be a healer, you can still have these things. It is recommended that the energy flow, for the optimum energy flow inside you, these 4 should not be taken. Sugar especially is considered to be the prime cause of cancer. Swamiji himself has discovered this in a vision, after which he banned sugar everywhere. Sugar is the prime cause of cancer in your system. So if you avoid sugar, you're avoiding cancer to a large extent. So that's one thing. But onion, garlic and the green chili are also like steroids. Onion, garlic, green chili are like medicines. Now if I have a medicine for a headache, will I take it every day? You won't take a medicine, no, because it cures headache. You will take it only if you have headache, yes or no? Onion, garlic, green chili also are like that. You should be taking them only if you have those medical conditions. Do we understand? So garlic, for example, works extremely well for heart disease patients. So if you're a heart disease patient, only then you should eat garlic. Otherwise, you should not be eating it. Otherwise, it's like you're popping up a headache tablet just because you like the taste. You don't do that with medicines, so you should not be doing that with these also. But these are not related to being a healer. Is this clear? Please don't get confused. You can continue for the rest of your lifetimes having sugar, onion, garlic, green chilies, but you cannot heal others if you take any of these. What is that? Alcohol, tobacco, non-vegetarian and drugs in any form other than medicine. So far with me? Let me complete. Then I'll come to questions. When I say questions, then ask. Okay? Are you so far with me? Yes? Now, you may have questions. Why mushroom? Why seaweed? Why this? Why that? Somebody actually had this question in Swamiji's session. It's very funny. I love quoting this. They said, why you're saying no to egg? Can I have the egg white and not the yolk? No, you cannot do that. Egg, either the white or the yolk or the combination is still non-vegetarian. So somebody asked, how come the egg is coming from a hen? Milk is coming from a cow. If I can drink milk, why cannot I eat egg? How does that become vegetarian? This become non-vegetarian. They asked Swamiji directly. Swamiji very beautifully, with his sense of humor, he said, if a cow sits on milk, if a hen sits on egg, it becomes chicken. If cow sits on milk, will it become calf? He asked. But of course, that's on a lighter note. Did you understand this? If a hen sits on an egg for some days, it becomes a life form. If a cow sits on milk for any number of years, does it become a life form? Does it become a calf? It doesn't. But that's, as I said, on a lighter form. The real reason which Swamiji says is the energy. Each thing in the universe is vibrating with energy. There are higher energy forms, there are lower energy forms. It is energy, right? The whole universe is nothing but energy, isn't it? If you see what Einstein spoke about, E is equal to mc square is the same thing. If you see what the Vedas speak about, that Ishavasyam idam sarvam is the same thing. Everything boils down to energy. Now when the energy frequency is high in certain things, that is when the life form in them, the life in them is more. Do you understand? Now when I am actually a plant, if I compare a plant to an animal, to me, to a human being, what is the difference? The consciousness or the energy that vibrates in each of these forms is different. Do we get this? So the higher the consciousness, all those higher consciousness, higher energy beings come under the bracket of non-vegetarian. Do we get this? So egg comes under that. The egg's energy and consciousness is a higher life form than something called a milk and then something called a spinach and lettuce. Same way, mushroom has a higher consciousness, is as good almost like an animal. Seaweeds also have a life energy more than, other plants and more than other things around them. Do you get this? This is the real reason why he's saying we'll not be eating those. We'll not be touching those. Once you get initiated to being healing others. Now you may have another question, can I cook for others? Absolutely you can cook for others. There is no problem at all. You can cook for others. Somebody asked me, can I use the same utensils to cook for myself as well? Then I said, unless you are extremely broke and you don't have money to buy another set of utensils, you have no choice. But if you have a choice, please do buy another set of utensils for yourself. If you don't have a choice, then obviously wash it properly and use, because that's not connected. Somebody said, if I go to a restaurant and by mistake I eat, then for the rest of it, then you stop healing others. If you realize you just took something by mistake, don't heal others after that point. Then how do I resume? How can I come back and heal others again? You will have to come back physically in Swamiji's presence and get the initiation again to be able to heal others again. So if by mistake you have taken and you have realized you have taken by mistake, don't heal others. Please remember, this is very serious. If you are committing to healing others, you cannot take any of this. If you kind of take any of this and start healing others, you may end up with skin rashes. You may have a negative impact because the process will not support the energy that's happening inside you. So you have a choice. If you think you will not be able to maintain these conditions, always choose to heal yourself. That there will be no problem. Swamiji takes care that you will completely experience energy and you will not have a problem as well, even though you continue with this lifestyle. Are you with me so far? So yes, you can cook for others, you can feed others, you will not take it. But we would recommend you to tie your nose when you're cooking, so that you don't consume that food through the sense called the nose. Most of the food, by the way, we eat off by smelling itself. So if you can, please tie a cloth around your nose and mouth when you are cooking. But cooking and feeding others is fine, not a problem. Can I sit and eat next to a person in whose plate there is non-vegetarian food? There's no problem. As long as you are not eating that food, it is fine. Then, how do I know? There is a very common question. How do I know that the products I'm buying contain or do not contain animal, substance in them? As I said, almost in all malls and shops, you have the ingredients written. Go back and read that. And wherever you see it's something related to non-vegetarian, animal fat and alcohol and rum and things like that, don't use that. Right? If you don't have clarity, ask the person, ask in the shop or whoever is giving you, ask them what is there in that. Even if they don't know, don't eat that. There's 100 other things you can eat. Even when you go out, when you go to restaurants, usually happens, it's very dicey when you go out especially, you may be served anything, right? I know there are many countries, you will say vegetable soup and they'll just give you, something will be swimming inside it and they will tell that is vegetarian, because according to them, that is vegetarian. So if you're going to such places, it's better to confirm once again, what is it that you added in this soup, kind of a thing. It only needs a little awareness. It's not at all difficult. I've seen hundreds of people who've been hardcore non-vegetarians all their life. Literally 3 times non-vegetarian people who can effortlessly live on vegetarian food after they get initiated as healers, healing others. Because the energy itself takes over so much. You will see a lot of your patterns will, as it is, drop. So lots related to alcohol and smoking and drinking also drops on its own. And eating non-veg also will go. The cravings will disappear. How many of you healers were non-vegetarian before, now are vegetarian and you don't have craving for non-vegetarian food? Raise your hand. So do you see, these are people who have lived their life as non-vegetarian, till that point. It is not at all difficult. And I tell you, it's worth sacrificing. Worth sacrificing these things to being a healer, healing others, because it does tremendous things to your system. Tremendous transformation is available when you get initiated to healing others. Then what are the questions related to this do we have? Common questions? I again repeat, medicines are fine. I've already told that. So medicine is fine unless it's a health supplement. Like I'm taking it as vitamin D, vitamin E, then you'll have to look at organic substitutes. There are organic substitutes which you can take. But if it is a mandatory part, as per your prescription which your physician has given, you can, that is not a problem. Okay, now questions. Let's go one by one because I know a lot of questions will come. Raise your hand, one by one we'll go. Ma, where is the mic? Food, drink, smoke. That's all. No, that's all. Yes, ma.
Ma, this sugar, garlic, onion and green chili, you said it is not like it is recommended that if it is not taken, the energy flow and all will be good.
Yes.
So suppose a healer takes it continuously for a period of time because of any reason. So if that person stops it after some time, will the energy flow will be restored?
There is no, see, it's not about restoring or losing. It's about your energy flow being at its optimal best.
Okay.
There's no, it's not about dissipation of energy. It's about how well can you ensure the energy cycle is on and up and up and up. So yeah, whenever you stop it, it obviously works in your system much better.
Okay, it will again reach the optimal state.
There is no again, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing called, there's a point where it has to go and come back.
Your body will be able to handle
at every every given point in time, your body will run with utmost efficiency.
Okay. And I have this doubt about what about the soya beans, chunks, meal makers? No.
All those are fine. If I have not mentioned, then they're all fine.
Fine, okay.
Yeah.
So
soya is absolutely fine, tofu is fine, meal maker is fine.
I wanted to ask about betel leaves. Usually in some of the pujas and all, would be given betel leaves.
Right, what about that?
So, tobacco.
That is not tobacco.
Betel
leaf is not tobacco. People use both together and have it. Betel leaf is perfectly fine. You're speaking about pan, right? When you're making traditional pan, there are some things which they make when they're making pan, not in the house. In the house they put what? Betel nut and betel leaf. That is fine. In the pan shop, he put something else. That silver thing or zarda, that has to be avoided.
So the pan which is given
in the house tambulam that you're saying is fine.
House tambulam, okay. So if we go to weddings or
correct, then you'll have to see what pan they're doing and avoid the pan.
Okay. And one more thing I wanted to ask, you said cakes, chocolates, anything which has rum inside
correct.
it. So by mistake, if a healer consumes even a little small piece and realizes later that he has been
you have to come back to get healer's initiation. Of course, you can continue self-healing. Even in that state, self-healing can go on.
Okay.
You should stop healing others. That's the only thing.
Okay.
So my request in this session is, as people ask questions, please listen. Everybody has been talking to the neighbor. Typically in this session, this happens. I request everyone's listening. You know why? This is the question which is already happening in your head. Exact same question you will repeat just 30 seconds after I have answered it. Now, I have no problem. I can answer it 10 times. It is just that we are not using the time effectively. So, let's please listen to questions. Because very soon that will become your question. The same question, you will see how it will happen. I'll just answer. Immediately somebody will ask exactly same question. Let's avoid that. So, let's listen to all questions. Yes, ma.
Manisha,
so please don't talk to one another. Please listen.
I know the egg is completely out of the question, but there are in the market in US there are two kinds of eggs. One is non-fertilized.
Both eggs. Both eggs have the same. She's speaking about the types of eggs. Swamiji has clarified this very clearly. Any kind of egg. So even whether we label it as non-fertilized, still that whole unit contains a higher life vibration and energy than the lower life forms which we can eat. So both kinds have to be avoided. Somebody asked me, duck egg, some cuckoo egg, any bird egg. Egg is egg. Whether it's a duck egg, cuckoo egg, or a beetlebee egg, or sparrow egg, or hen egg, or whatever egg that is. Snake egg, crocodile egg, ostrich egg, all eggs. You have to avoid. What? What's that? Oh, that, that anything, by the way. Okay? Yeah.
What about raw cocoa? Raw cocoa. So instead of chocolate,
raw cocoa?
Store brand.
Cocoa, does that have alcohol content in it?
It doesn't no, you're saying that you can't have chocolate.
No, that is, I didn't say you cannot have chocolate. Listening. I said chocolate which contains egg. Chocolate which contains rum or any kind of alcohol you should avoid. Or chocolate in its pure form, absolutely you can have. We have. They've not made here, but we have.
And you said no sugar, but some of the stuff is sweet.
That's with jaggery. All the sweets here are made by jaggery. That's why I'm saying the world doesn't end when we stop some things. The world still continues because you have so many more things available.
Jaggery doesn't have sugar in it?
No. Jaggery is a different form altogether. Sugar, when processed, what they do in the processed sugar, they add animal bone powder. The white sugar has animal bone powder which contributes to the color white. All sugars, even the brown sugar has a very small portion of this animal bone product. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pig or some animal. That is very dangerous to the cells inside us. It kills the immunity, causes cancer. Jaggery, on the other hand, is unprocessed, by the way. Sugarcane juice is the purest form. Absolutely, you can have. Jaggery is taken from sugarcane juice, which is boiled, and the first layer which comes out of boiled sugarcane juice is jaggery, which, when further processed, becomes two things: brown sugar and white sugar.
So what is it called? Is it called raw jaggery? Or
No, it's
just
called jaggery.
And anywhere you get jaggery, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
going to have white
You
sugar
do,
in
right?
it? Even in the United States?
Huh? What? One at a time. What?
The jaggery in the United States won't have white sugar in it?
No. Jaggery is jaggery everywhere, as I understand. They're saying take it in Indian stores. See, jaggery is that yellow color.
Okay.
You do a Google search, man, on jaggery. You'll have the history of jaggery.
And
Just check it once.
what if you accidentally, as a lot of times in traffic, people are smoking cigarettes. What if you catch like one whiff?
That's what I already said, na? If it happens, then there's nothing you can do about it. This clause is that you should actively not engage into smoking. You cannot say, oh, I'll take one puff and take it and leave it.
No, but like let's say you just catch a whiff, you don't
That
have
is
to
fine.
come back for healer's
No.
nurse? And then what if you accidentally smell like some meat cooking?
That is fine.
And,
That is fine.
And so
You can't
all-
accidentally put it in your mouth and say, oh, by accident it happened.
and all
That we can.
herbs like medicinal like tulsi and etc. and vine plants are okay to take
For what? If they're in a medicine?
for medicine, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I already clarified this. Medicine, which is for the purpose given, if it's a treatment you're going through.
Well, no, the medicine like plant medicines like sometimes
Any medicine, whether it's Ayurveda, Siddha, plant, non-plant, allopathy, any medicine, if you're taking for a health condition, is fine. For any other purpose, building stamina, for example, building vitamins, no. You have to take organic stuff.
So if you're forced to take you have a condition and the doctor says for this specific condition you're forced to take this has a little alcohol or a little animal product in it.
Do you have any such condition?
No,
Then why are you asking? Not required to ask.
Just a
Number-
general question.
So again, how can anyone force you to, why will a doctor force you to take medicine? Yeah? If it is needed for your treating your medical condition and it is prescribed, you will take it over.
No, I understand that.
That's all.
I was just maybe for somebody else. I was
No,
just-
don't bother. Drop it there.
Okay.
It's very simple. If it's a medicine prescribed by a doctor, take it. For health reasons, for curing a condition in you, take it. If it is for other reasons like supplementary product or vitamins or building stamina and strength, you can take organic stuff.
I understand.
Then avoid it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to ask, you said that milk and yogurt is allowed. What about other products like cheese? Why cheese not?
Cheese which contains animal protein is not, is what I said. By the way, you are served cheese here. Do you realize? With bread?
No.
You didn't see bread and cheese here?
Yes, cheese. I mean cheese.
Yeah. They're giving you bread and cheese in breakfast.
No,
Bread and butter or whatever. Whatever they're giving.
Yes.
Cheese also, there is organic cheese.
Organic cheese. And what is the difference between organic cheese and
Animal fat
non-organic?
is not there in organic cheese.
Uh-huh.
Animal fats
Yes.
in some animal substances are there in the normal cheese.
But it's made from milk.
It will be green, ma.
It's
It is made from milk, but it
Yes.
is processed with some kind of an animal fat.
Oh, okay.
Many
Thank
cheeses.
You. Thank
so
you.
those cheeses avoid. There are organic cheeses which are pure, what you said, milk-based products. Those are fine.
So butter, yogurt, this is allowed.
Correct. Butter,
Okay.
yogurt is organic, so it's fine. Cheese also, organic is fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
the
these
other-
products, yogurt and butter, should not have this mark for organic. It's not
Yes,
necessary.
usually they're organic. I don't know if there are varieties which have, they may be having. Just check out the ingredients. It's simple. You can easily find it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I
Yes.
just want to reconfirm that
Yes.
two things. One, if we choose the self-healer choice, that one, our Ananda will still be opened.
Yes.
And two, if we are non-vegetarians, we can still, let's say, continue that diet. In other words, we don't have to become vegetarian.
No.
I'm not a vegetarian, although I eat a lot of vegetarian, meals.
Yes,
But there's
understand.
times when I may have some meat.
Correct.
So if I choose that option of being just for self-healing,
Yes.
I can still have meats from time to time.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Every day, every meal you can have.
okay, so there's no.
No, really.
And the Nanda will still be open.
Absolutely.
Okay,
The Ananda
that's
Gandha will
all
be open every day. You can, not for you, just on a lighter note. Every day, every meal you can have. You can drown yourself in a drum of alcohol, and you can smoke all what you want, like tons and tons of cigarettes. Nothing will happen as long as you're healing yourself. No. Ananda Gandha cannot be closed like that. Ananda Gandha, by the way, does not even need you to even think of Swamiji. Even if you're not connected anymore afterwards, even if you're gone your way and following whatever you're following, it still will not be closed. It will be closed only under one situation where you are abusing the space. Literally abusing the master in whatever form, verbally or literally planting a bomb under his bed kind of a thing, In those situations, you're actually closing it up for you. The options close for you, and that's the only, it's a very rare extreme. In every other situation, once awakened, Ananda Gandha is open, active and awakened. And there for you, always. Yes, ma, question? Who has the mic? Ma, here, she has a question. Ikkada. Tanu.
This might sound
Yeah.
might sound a bit silly, but
No,
I'm
no.
going to ask it.
Please ask.
Just having the self-healing isn't going to change anything about what I do in healing others.
Not at all. In the other practices, you're saying? In the other spiritual practice?
So in my work already that I do
No,
in
no, no.
healing, it's not going to change
Not at all.
anything.
That is
I'm gonna channel it
completely
differently.
different. Yes.
Okay. That's
Only
fine.
Nitya spiritual healing only it matters, ma. Your other healing practice is intact and separate track. They are not at all related.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, this will complement. You'll be even more powerful when you're doing other things, when you have your Ananda Gandha activated.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah.
And if I just do the self-healing, can I do the prayer every day as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You mandatory to get into that meditation for self-healing or healing others.
Okay.
That's the way it opens up.
Yeah. All right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Yes, Shrikant. ఆదిత్య ఫుడ్ వచ్చిందేమో చూడమ్మా.
Yes, okay. When other healing systems don't require us to be non-vegetarian, why Nitya healing demands so? What is specifically, why it demands so specifically?
Other healing systems I will not be able to comment because I neither practice nor have I experienced ever. To tell you the truth, personally, I literally don't even know the spelling of meditation till I met Swamiji. It's been such a very strange and obviously it's all, for me, it's all a divine thing. It happened. So other healing services I don't know, I'll not be able to tell. Nitya spiritual healing service I know is coming straight from the source. Swamiji is the cosmic source and whatever Swamiji says is very scientific. So I know whatever he's saying has a very deep scientific connection. It is not moral science in nature. I want us to understand this. It is not being moralistic. Oh, killing animals is bad. That's why don't do that. It's not about that at all. It is about how your energy gets impacted with what you are consuming. Swamiji very beautifully has explained this actually once. He said, what happens when you are actually consuming, let us take a typical example of non-vegetarian food. See, the non-vegetarian food that you get is coming from where? Where do you get the meat from? Shrikant, where do you get the meat from? Yeah, but where do you get the meat? From the shop, no? You get it from the shop. Now in the shop, what is happening? How is the meat procured in a shop? How do they get meat in the shop? They get the animal and they chop it, right? Yes or no? Isn't that the process? General process, right? Now when that happens, at the point, it's very important to know that at the point when a soul is leaving the body, what is happening with that soul and the impact that has on life around it. Now there is a goat, right? The goat is leaving its body. Isn't it so? At the point when the butcher is cutting, what do you think is happening for that consciousness at that point, for that thing called the goat? Is it floating in bliss? Is it, I'm asking you, Shrikant, is it float? No, let's go step by step. I know you may have other questions, we'll address that. Let me finish this example first. And this for everyone. That's a very fantastic question you bring, so I'm bringing this. So what do you think is happening? Suffering. In some form, yes or no? Could be fear, whatever it is, right? Understand, every life form has intelligence. Do you get this? Every life form has intelligence. Did you ever see a calf which is born from a cow's womb? Do you know the first thing it does when it's born? What is the first thing it does even before it opens its eyes? It goes to the udder of the mother. It goes to the place where the milk is coming. Now, does it have a director guiding, hey, walk straight, walk here? No, no, really. The moment any life form is born, look at the beauty of life. Have you ever seen the eggs hatch and the chickens come out? They don't need any person to guide them to the mother's, they just go automatically to the mother's womb. They go to the mother's bosom and they just start sucking the milk. They just start cooing with the mother. What is that? That is intelligence. Every life form, however low it is, has its own innate intelligence. It is gifted with that. Same way, the same intelligence responds to something called life-threatening. It's life-threatening moment for the goat, yes or no? Don't think it doesn't know. It knows it. Its body reacts to it. Just like how in us, what is produced when we get into a panic mode in us? Adrenaline. Have you heard of this? You've heard of it, no, Shrikant? All of us have heard of it. It's called the flight and fight reaction. Whenever I am into a moment of intense panic, some intense emotion, immediately you will see something happens inside. Yes or no? It's automatic, by the way. That chemical is triggered. It's induced into the body. You will see what happens inside you. Heartbeat goes up. Your temperature goes up. Your ability to respond is so sharp. Yes or no? You'll either have the great speed of running away or you'll have the great speed of hitting back and attacking, whatever is that situation. The same thing exists for all life forms. So at that moment when it's getting chopped off, the goat or that whatever, the snake or the fish, whichever you call it in the thing in talk here, that form goes through the same thing. And chemicals are released in the body of that particular life form. You understand? The chemicals which are into intense action of either running away or fighting back is happening. Now in the case of this goat, does it get a chance to put it out? No, because before it can put it out, which is if by mistake the butcher leaves it, hold is gone, it puts it out by what? Just running away or maybe kicking back and attacking back. But both don't happen, it's firmly held. Then where do you think it's going, the whole thing? It remains in the bloodstream, in the flesh and bones of that particular animal. Now that is chopped and that is packaged and packed to you. Either you get it from the best of supermarkets in the world or get from a local butcher shop. Still, that contains that biomemory, that engram, that particular chemical itself is there in that meat and that flesh. Now when I consume that, what do you think is happening to me? Obviously, the impact is there in me. Swamiji says, animalistic tendencies are very high. That's why for higher probability for people who eat non-vegetarian food. Are we so far with me? I'll speak of something else also interestingly which comes up usually when we have this conversation. Somebody stood up and asked in a class, Vivekananda used to smoke, Ramakrishna used to eat fish. We always have this question. For me, the answer is only one thing, get enlightened. You are beyond all rules and regulations. You never ask, Vivekananda was enlightened. You'll only ask, he was smoking. Yes, he was smoking, but he was enlightened when he was smoking. You become enlightened, you get to that space and then smoke, drink, roll around with 1000 women, no problem. Because then you're beyond anything matter anyways. You're beyond the realm of something called matter. But as long as we are living with the mind and we are subjected to emotions and the matter called mind, these practices will help us evolve out of it. So it is not moral science. It is very strictly related to pure physical science. It has a very profound meaning to it. So do not bring in examples of masters who eat meat, smoke and drink. You become a master, then you can do anything. Then you don't need to have any rules and regulations around your life. Maybe the shortest way to eating meat is becoming enlightened, so become one. No doubt. I'll also support you on that. Let's do it. You have any other questions to this, Shrikant? That's why Swamiji says it. Into the mic. Okay, that's fine. I can repeat the question. I can hear you anyways. In the X case? Yeah, this is for a little higher, this, what is that called? Higher life form, like an animal, where actively it is happening, but even for egg, it is still consciousness. It has an energy which is vibrating in our higher zone. If you're consuming something like that, it has an impact in your blood and vessels, in your very nervous system. It will impact you, including egg. Why egg? Even mushrooms, as I said, because they are higher conscious forms. Consuming any conscious form itself, by the way, is an impurity in your body. Obviously, the highest realm is living without any food and water, right? There are yogis who live years together without even food, normal food I'm saying, even plants. That's a way, a path many people follow to remove impurity from their system. See, there are many malinas. Malinas are the impurities in our body. In the human body, there are thousands of impurities. Most of them are contributed with food we eat. Even the normal food I'm saying, forget meat and all. Even normal food causes that in the body. So if we can get to a space where we are without food, nothing like it. And that's what Swamiji is doing through Nirahara Samyama. There will be a day when he will initiate everyone into breathing air and living. I know it's coming sometime around the corner. So if we can be there, nothing like it. Does that answer your question? So I want us to understand it's a very scientific concept. The context is scientific. It is not moral. It is not social. Yes, ma'am. Question?
No, mine's more to confirm what you were talking about. When I used to drink alcohol, I would feel my energy curl back and I could feel my vibration low. And then with meat, it's been a natural process. First of all, it was red meat. If I ate red meat, I was very sick.
Red meat.
And then and then a few months later, it was white meat.
What is red meat? What is white meat?
Red
Not
meat,
that it is important to know, but
yeah, red
my
meat.
curiosity.
Red meat would be lamb, cow, that sort of thing. Yeah,
Oh, why do they call it red meat?
because it's red.
Oh, because it's red?
Yeah,
Oh, there is meat which is white and not red?
yeah. Chicken is white.
Why? It has blood in its body, no? Oh, okay.
So it began with the red meat, and I would be sick. And then a few months later, it started with white meat, and then it continued with fish. So the more work I was doing, the more obviously my vibration was changing, and the more my
Right.
body was naturally saying no.
Right. So this is coming from an experienced person, no? And she's not a Nithya spiritual healer. She's speaking from a context of healing itself. She's been a healer. She's been a professional. So you know that's how it is. It is very scientific. I want us to understand. Thank you for helping bring a different perspective to the conversation, because that helps. No, it's not a superstition. Swamiji is never superstitious. You should know this. If there is only a scientific, strong science reason, he is more a scientist than anything else that I have known him as. Only then he will ask us to do it or not do it. She is speaking as a professional who's been practicing healing others. That it does work. It does impact the way your energy works. It does impact the way your mind works. It does impact every single thing. The quality of life you experience when you have non-vegetarian food and vegetarian food is like heaven and earth apart. Absolutely. Huge differences there in both. Yes.
Yeah. Before I met Nithyananda in 2010.
Closer, mic closer.
2010, I was a non-vegetarian. I would not eat any vegetarian at all. Every day I would eat non-vegetarian. After meeting Swamiji in 2010, my taste for non-vegetarian started reducing. And last year, January, I did NSP. And from that time, actually, I started not liking non-vegetarian at all. But since I was non-vegetarian, I did not stop it suddenly one
Correct.
day. But it started reducing. Instead of eating every day, sometimes I would eat once in a week or once in a 15 days. But when I eat after a gap of 8 days or 10 days, I would feel the difference. So whenever I
Correct.
eat meat, I would feel very restless,
Right.
mind gets upset and all that. So I felt the difference.
Yeah.
So now I am almost vegetarian, and I used to drink alcohol. I enjoyed actually. So if I get to drink every day, I was very happy. But for 1 year after doing NSP, I have not touched alcohol because
Wow.
I don't feel like going to that unconscious behavior. So it's left. It is not the tapas, but I got a
Correct.
freedom from that.
Yeah.
It is not a I don't think it is good or bad, but
Exactly.
it has left me. So,
Exactly.
and it is not a tapas. It's a
Great.
freedom from that.
Yeah.
And I feel the difference. If I eat non-veg, then I have problems.
Correct.
I felt the difference. But when I was eating every day, I did not feel that. But now I know.
Right.
Now I am almost vegetarian. So almost.
Great.
Sometimes I eat a little bit fish, but that
Correct.
will also go after some time. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Great, fantastic. Thank you for sharing. So it's really like that, you know, the biomemory, that animals. Let's acknowledge them. They've shared, please. The biomemory of those beings get transferred to you, and that is the fact and the truth. They will get transferred, and they will start becoming the very part of your bloodstream. So it's very important that your quality of life has so many factors it's governed by, and your very bloodstream is flowing with those particular chemicals which are induced, the biomemories which are induced, the thought frequency of those life forms, all of it is impacting you. Do we get this? In fact, we've asked Swamiji this question, how about people who give organs to others? Even that actually has a biomemory transplant. Even when you take organs like eyes or liver or kidneys, I mean, even that actually impacts. The person who is receiving does get impacted by the donor's state of mind and state of body and signals, everything. Do you understand? Jiva Samadhis are, by the way, therefore so powerful. Jiva Samadhi is what basically? It's like a space where the body is kept intact. It's there. No, really. This master in Sri Rangam, you have Ramanuja's body. Ramanuja was a great saint and seer and incarnation. His body is still there. Like thousands of years he's passed away. It is very much there, and they've kept it amidst herbs and all, and it still radiates his energy. Because that is the power of even the physical matter that we have. And more so, if you are consuming other physical matter, you have to be that much more aware, because it does impact you where you are as you are living. Any other questions? Mike.
What about non-alcoholic drink like Pepsi and Coca-Cola?
What about Pepsi and Coca-Cola? Not that you already don't know about this, but I would love to mention Pepsi and Coca-Cola is best used only in one field. What is that? As a pesticide. Many farmers use Pepsi, Coke and things like that, feeding their plants, killing. The most effective pesticide is Pepsi and Coke, by the way. You can use it as a toilet cleaner. That's a second recommendation I would have for them. It really works brilliantly well. Now, if you're ready to put that into your stomach, then you can. There's nothing much we can say about it. That's got nothing to do with you as a healer, but has got everything to do with degeneration of your own body energy. So please stop it. If you are having the habit of drinking Pepsi and Coke, don't do it. Before putting it, remember, you're actually putting an acid into yourself. And I'm a cool drink freak till I actually met Swamiji. Without thumbs up, a single day, every 3 hours I have to have a bottle of thumbs up, that too cold. I used to be like that. So it's all the cravings of the mind actually. So it's so amazing the way Swamiji works on you. The patterns get dissolved. So therefore, whatever is the byproduct of that pattern, a craving for this, a craving for pickle, a craving for all that just drops off. So Pepsi and Coke, by the way, are not related as a rule for a healer, but as a human, please don't take it. One second, let him finish. I'll come back to your question. Yes, Alec.
Wouldn't two questions? Wouldn't Pepsi and Coke have white sugar in it?
Of course they have.
So it is animal product based.
It's not, actually yes, that's right.
So
Pepsi Coke does have. Now you can ask, can I make Pepsi Coke with jaggery? I will still say, why jaggery Pepsi Coke? Take other jaggery drinks.
Yeah, so I'm just saying like as a warning, so like.
Yeah, of course it has.
So even that is restricted.
Correct.
And then are you saying it's better not, like when I got my license, they asked me, do you want to donate your organs? And I wouldn't think twice. I was like, yeah. But should I get that withdrawn?
I will not comment on your personal. It's each person's individual choice
In
when
terms
they
of
want to donate
spiritual-
organs.
In terms of spiritual growth, what is the best
Correct.
option? Like, what
See,
would
for
you do?
you, I don't know if there's any. See, where you are, you're giving it and moving on, right? There's nothing related to you. But for the person who's taking it, they will have an impact of your biomemory, right? So, Alec, that makes you more responsible to live a very highly evolved spiritual life, so that the person who takes it from you also grows in the path of enlightenment. If you personally want to donate, makes you even more responsible.
Okay.
But that said, it's a personal choice. Obviously, there's no recommendation Dhyana Peetam, Swamiji or I will make about organ donation. It's not about that at all. I only spoke from a spiritual context. Yes.
So in supermarket, we can't buy any juices and mineral waters with tastes because there's everywhere sugar in it.
You have a lot of drinks which do not have sugar in it. Lot of juices which are natural, which are fruit bars, natural fruit extracts, jaggery is fine, honey is fine. There are a lot of drinks actually, Thomas. You need to look out for it. Because we drink, no. We have not stopped drinking juices, by the way. We drink juices, just that we add jaggery in it. If we want to, we add jaggery in it. So.
And my second question is, does this energy help us on the way to enlightenment?
Which energy?
The healing energy.
Absolutely. Definitely. It helps working on you at various levels. You know, when the energy is at its optimum best, your patterns are losing their grip. See, basically tell me, why do we have patterns? It is a hand-in-hand equation. When I experience loss of energy, my patterns gain power. I either get into fear mode, guilt mode, this mode, that mode, attention-seeking mode. All that is for what? Basically to compensate the loss of energy that's happening inside me. Now, when energy itself is being balanced, obviously those things will lose their grip. Isn't it so? So more and more healing you do to others, more and more you will see patterns vanishing from you. It's a beautiful path of, without much effort, losing patterns. Okay? Other questions? Yes. Here is the mic, then it will go to you.
I wanted to ask about other spices. Well, anyway, you said whatever you have not mentioned, we can consume it. There are some spices, some Indian spices like anise, I don't know some of the words in English.
You can tell in Telugu, so I know Telugu.
Jajikaya, Japatri, all these things. They usually, when you sprinkle those powders in making biryanis and all, usually, anyway, I'll not be using ginger and garlic, maybe garlic, but I'll be using these spices. So these spices have this tendency, they make you drowsy a little bit. So what about these spices?
I would ask you to Google about them. They're all actually, at least Jajikaya I know, is like is from a tree. That's fine. Dalchin chekka also is tree. Those are fine. See, they inducing some quality in you is a different point altogether.
So
but it doesn't mean it's not related that it is non-vegetarian.
Even Japatri is also vegetarian. It comes from a plant.
Exactly. So that's all that you can use. There's no issue with any of those.
Anything which is from a plant.
Absolutely. Even Pudina you can use for that matter. That's a leaf.
Pudina doesn't put me to sleep actually.
I understand. No, but I'm generally saying all of that, if it comes under one category, especially biryani, if you're saying, then there's no harm, you can use any of those.
So when I'm buying food from outside, tin food or anything, I just have to look for that mark and take it?
Absolutely. Look for the ingredients, look for the mark, inquire properly, and with awareness, have it.
Okay.